Hi everyone.
What's up?
Welcome to
the
20th take of the worst
Worst
takes.
Takes.
I'm Josh.
I'm fucking Sarah, bitch.
I didn't realize real quick that technically when I say the 20th take, that is technically a pun off of the worst takes.
Yeah. Whoa, you didn't mean it like that? That's what I thought.
I didn't mean it. No, I didn't fucking mean it.
I thought you meant this was the 20th episode.
No, it's the 17th. Is it? It's an episode.
It's an episode.
It's not the 9/11 one. That's all I know about this one. Is that this is the one we don't need to talk about 9/11 on, because it's not.
We got some interesting topics today.
We do have some interesting topics. Yeah. I have a whole new segment, I think, because I feel like there's a untapped well that we can go into on a bi-weekly basis.
Really?
We were talking about it before, and you had similar. I think you have something related to mine from the publisher. I don't want to give it away yet.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. But since you're talking with, I think it'll probably be the second one that you do from one. I don't know how to explain this. Sarah, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling good, Josh. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm describing how we do the podcast on the podcast, where people know how we do the podcast already.
Yeah, it sounds pretty boring. Do you want to get into worst takes?
Worst takes, yeah.
Okay, so I really want to read you this article about how babies are filled with plastic.
How?
I'll tell you.
Okay, all right. How are they filled with plastic?
Babies are full of microplastics, new research shows from Euronews Green. Babies have 15 times more microplastics in their bodies than adults. A new pilot study has found.
Okay, that's interesting, actually. Wait, hold on. Okay,
because global warming is so bad. I'm not gonna read you the article. Go fucking look it up.
Look it up yourself. It's a pilot
not your
study.
Fucking mom.
It's a pilot study. We don't know.
I'm not your damn mom. Go look up the study and go look up the article.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So microplastics are real tiny plastic.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Like real tiny.
Like the fragments of like stuff that like gets scraped off of like plastic bottles and credit cards as well.
So microplastics are ingested by humans sometimes.
Yes.
Babies have a lot of them.
More than regular people?
More than regular people.
More than adult-sized humans?
Yes. Babies, because they crawl around on the ground, and microplastics from carpets will get into their body.
Wow.
And from like chewing little toys.
That makes sense then. Yeah, that makes 100% sense.
And there's not enough study on how plastic, especially small amounts of plastic at a time, affect the human body. But
yeah, because plastic is
fucking plastic.
I say as I drink out of a plastic bottle, but like plastic is like
it's man-made. And
it's man-made. It's
never
from
goes
oil,
away.
And there's no way it's good for us.
There's literally no way.
Yeah.
So also, so basically babies are just like chock full of plastic.
Okay, all right, they're chock full of plastic. They're filled to the brim with plastic.
But this pilot study only looked at 6 babies in New York.
Why are we even talking about that?
I know.
Guys, hold the fuck on. Like, I need more data then. I'm sorry.
This is so funny to me. So they looked at 6 babies, but not only that,
6 of them.
They looked at 6 babies' stool samples.
Gross.
So they went through a bunch of 6 babies' poop and found a crap ton of plastic in there, man. Like a lot of plastic.
Can we get more babies on this first? I mean, I feel like before we... Let's calm down.
That's a funny take, though, because it's like, are these the most plasticky babies?
Are these the most plastic babies? I want to know, unironically.
Or are just all babies
all
plastic?
Babies, yeah.
I'm more inclined, I think, to believe that all babies are plastic.
I mean, yeah.
Then you somehow found 6 babies.
Okay, you found
that
6
have a lot of plastic in them.
Yeah,
15 times.
I want to know what the control variables are here. That's
I got no clue.
I have no idea, because like I feel like that it's just like.
Well, Josh.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go fucking read the original article then.
Oh my god! All right.
And the study,
fine.
Okay? Because I'm not your fucking mom. All right.
Whatever you say. Yeah, sure.
I'm feeling sassy today. Anyway, so fucking, what do you think the people think about this plastic baby situation?
Well, if I'm already voicing my opinion and someone's telling me that they're not my mom, then I think the people are probably having a very similar. No, they're not.
No, people are freaking the fuck out because their babies are filled with plastic.
All right, okay.
What on earth do we think we are doing? This is why the plastics and something report is so important. We have got to get a handle on this. It is crazy.
Calm down, first of all.
And then Steven says they studied 6 babies in New York.
6 babies in New York as well. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like most plastic in it.
Yeah,
I feel like ever.
There's a whole bit from Louis C.K. about how like New York is just a big piece of trash.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
like fucking.
I remember being in New York. Okay, calm down now. Yeah, the more I think about this,
it's like I want to know how much trash is in babies right now. So I'm gonna go to L.A.
New Jersey, and
I'm gonna go to New Jersey, and I'm gonna look at a bunch of New Jersey babies. Yeah. It's like, what?
I want to know how much sand is in a baby. That's why I'm going to go to Daytona Beach. And I'm just going to find out how much. And then I'm going to apply it to all of America.
But I don't want to do that much work. I want to go and look at 6 babies from Daytona.
I find some sand. I want to make sure that I find some plastic. You know, I want to find out how much lead is in babies. So I'm going to go to Flint, Michigan. Because we still haven't fixed that yet, everybody.
Oh, true.
Yeah, fucking buzzkill time, everybody.
Does this mean we shouldn't dump babies in the sea? Gets coat.
That's a good joke. That's
pretty good.
Pretty good. You did it. You get a seal of approval from me.
That was a good take.
Yeah.
That's what people get for not worrying about pollution. And then it's what's his face from the first 3 Star Wars movies, and it says "fuck them kids."
Oh, Anakin.
It says it's Anakin
Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know who's killed more babies, Anakin Skywalker or plastic? Probably plastic.
And he killed all of the little ones.
All of the little ones, all of them. Every single one of them.
Every single one of them, yeah.
Do you think Anakin Skywalker is jealous of plastic?
I think Anakin
Skywalker is a metaphor for plastic? Do you think that's what George Lucas is going to put in later?
I think Anakin Skywalker is fucking dead and is also a cartoon character in a movie about space Nazis.
But how does this relate to 2021 politics, Sarah?
We should ban babies if they contain microplastics. Babies and former babies are among the leading forces of environmental destruction. I don't know who you're making fun of there, fam.
Yeah, actually, I'm very curious because it goes both ways on that one. Do we have a centrist among us?
Do we? Fuck. Patrick says, no need to be this hasty. Common sense reform on baby burning could keep a lot of these microplastics out of the ocean and atmosphere. And then Unknown 289 says, filthy Satanists.
All right, you know what? I think I know who they're making fun of then. They're not making fun of anyone other than the idea of burning plastic. Because then a QAnoner comes in
and says you guys automatically
assumes that this is Pizzagate related. You know? Like, I mean, I don't know.
I was sus. Like, that was the exact reaction when I read this the first time. I was sus until I saw the QAnon guy was mad at them. And then I was like,
okay, so now I know which side of history I want to be on.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
And then the main guy that said the first thing said, first of all, I showered like 12 hours ago. Second of all, you say that like it's a bad thing.
Dab on him. Dab on him.
True king.
True Satan cabal king.
Okay, this guy's the last one, and he's very funny. No, babies are not full of microplastics. Hashtag fake news. Hashtag fake news.
Hashtag face news.
Face news.
You're telling me that babies don't have Botox put into their face, and that's why it's.
That's how
news?
They should have hashtagged the Facebook thing that was down today. Hashtag face news. But no babies are not full of microplastics. Hashtag fake news.
Fake news. So is that supposed to be a joke, or is that like...
No, he's legit. Because there were only 6 babies. And the article is saying babies are full of microplastics. So he's saying,
I mean...
that's misleading, so it's fake!
Well, it's not fake. It's just a pilot study, dude. Calm down. Calm the fuck down, dude. Jesus. Like, even I question it, but at least I'm not being like, this is completely fake.
Right.
I can believe it, but I definitely think it's maybe a bit misleading.
Right. I mean, yeah, it is a little bit misleading.
Yeah,
I would like to see more research about this first. Probably.
Well, I mean, because like people, like adults, what isn't the average of like plastic consumed by adults? Because we take microplastics. Isn't like a credit card's worth a year per person or something like that?
Right. But babies are eating 15 credit cards, I guess.
Which that's a lot. That seems like a lot, actually.
Especially for a smaller person.
But that also makes me worried about then. It's like, oh, have we just been putting plastic in carpets this whole time? Which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's a valid worry.
No, yeah, of course. And honestly, like
pretty much everything babies come into contact with is plastic based.
Yeah, and I mean, like
toys.
Which I guess that makes me start wondering, do we start taking this as seriously as like, not as seriously, but close to like anthrax or something, or like putting lead in pencils, you know what I mean?
Or like when they or mercury in toys, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like at what point is it going to become like that?
Probably think so. I mean, well, the problem though with that is we don't know the effects of the plastics.
Yeah, and for all we know, I mean, it could be by some miracle. Yeah. Nothing happens. You just have
happens to your baby. Your baby's
fine. You just have
fine.
a bunch of oil in you.
You just got a mostly plastic baby.
Slightly more plastic. But I feel like that has to, like, if it gets into you, you know, I don't think, because we can't digest.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, because we can't, like, digest it.
Yeah.
Or if it somehow, like, seeps into our blood.
There's going to be some disease 10 years from now, a bunch of kids that have stomachs full of plastic. They're going to have to do a surgery.
Plastic stomach.
Where you just open it up and it's like a piñata. It comes out and it's a bunch of plastic. Right? It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Okay.
God. All right.
Charles said, and their profile picture is either of somebody from Blackpink or Player 67 from Squid Game. Hear that, everyone? Everything's fine. This guy used a fake news hashtag. They're obviously an expert. Move along now. Thomas Baker, who is not the original guy.
Someone coming in to defend.
Somebody comes in. He's like, "Oh, what is that? Somebody attacked my king.
Someone attacked my king.
Time to go to his defense.
It's time to be a white knight for fake news.
For a fake news guy." Just to be technically correct, but the article states, our study suggests that infants are exposed to higher levels of MPs, microplastics, than adults. So it is exposure to, not full of. There is what the science shows, and then what the media title. Okay. Don't take that as me saying this isn't concerning, merely that they are definitely sensationalizing, so we shouldn't get carried away with that.
Okay, well, first of all,
thank you for being nuanced.
Second of all, fucking nerd.
Fucking nerd. You had to write 2 tweets for this?
You had to write 2 tweets to fact check the fact check of the fact check.
Yeah. But then AJDX14 says something that, honestly, I fuck with. I fuck with this guy.
All right, okay.
I don't think any typical person would see the title and think it means that every baby on the planet has had their organs scooped out and are now being used to store microplastics, though. And you know what? Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess you're right. ... But
why are we
exaggerating both sides of this right now, guys?
Well, because it's fucking Twitter.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, but like, come on, guys. But
then also there is something to, why are we performing to the lowest common denominator? Why do we have to be explicitly descriptive of everything that we say?
Because that's the world we live in, I guess. I don't know,
but like, is it that because we made it that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, maybe if we just acted different, the world would be different. In like a couple generations, maybe some people are going to be like, I don't understand.
Someone's going to learn from us, right? Like,
and be disenfranchised. And then eventually they'll have kids that are like, I totally get what this newspaper article is saying. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I get it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm lost now.
Yeah, me too. Lost. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know how we got here from babies being fucking dump trucks full
just
of,
absolutely full of plastic. And Thomas Baker comes through with, no, of course not. But the imagery it conveys is that there is a lot of microplastics. It is grossly overstated. The same when microplastics were found in the placenta and the term cyborgs was used. When was this? When was this?
Dude, that's awesome, actually.
That's fucking dope as shit. Dude. Somebody should have sent me this at some point.
Can you imagine? Okay, so you get knocked up by a guy, right?
Yeah.
And
you have his baby. You have his baby.
You 9 months. You carry to term.
And then you eat the placenta.
You eat the placenta.
You cut it. You fry it and you cut it open. It's just got a little army guy in there.
Got a little army guy.
It's got a little plastic army guy.
And then you're like, this is a cyborg.
I don't even know how cyborg is
used. It's not a cyborg.
Plastic isn't. It isn't technology.
Plastic is used in technology. Well, yeah, it's used in technology. So
it's used in technology, but is it technology?
Well, no, technology is the sum of it's greater than the sum of its parts. Just a bunch of metal and plastic in a box, and then we watch porn on it. Like that's it. That's all that. I don't think I'm gonna watch porn on
plastic. That's not technology. It's not a cyborg.
Everyone, what I want y'all to do right now, find a water bottle, draw porn on it right now. Prove Sarah wrong right now.
Take your phone, reflect porn into the
plastic water bottle,
and then jerk off to it.
Jerk off to it.
The terminology is important as it creates a narrative, elicits emotion, then knee-jerk response.
I mean, you're right, but nerd, shut up.
And then AJD says, that's kind of the point of journalism and not always bad. No, it's not.
Wait, what? Yeah, wait, hold on. Journalism is about facts, nerd.
You're both nerds, but one of these is a wrong nerd.
Both of you are nerds. One of you is just really wrong.
Feeling emotion is part of being human and should be considered when making decisions.
I mean, you're right, but like, if you want to feel emotion, go to a fucking museum, dude. Don't go to the New York Times. Like, come on, man.
Right? Like,
you can have emotions and have it be based on fact, but the whole point of the news is to be factual.
This started out with such a fun topic about babies being just filled to the goddamn gills with plastic. And now they're talking about a fucking philosophical debate on is there objective truth or is there not objective truth?
What is journalism meant to be in society?
Exactly.
Is it supposed to be the New York Times or the New York Post?
Right. Yeah, exactly. If the article wanted people to care more about microplastics, then it's doing its job fine and not really hurting anyone. It is, though. Because then people get to say fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
And then people don't get vaccinated and then your grandpa dies.
Yeah,
from no fault of anybody other than the people that didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah, the people that lied about not being vaccinated and then told people to not get vaccinated.
And then just kiss your grandpa right in the mouth. Anyway, so this shit is crazy.
Okay,
this shit is crazy. She's right in that she's upset, but she's crazy.
Let's go. I'm gonna put my pen in my ear. I'm ready for the craziness. I'm gonna go therapist mode on this one.
Okay. At POTUS, at Senator Schumer, at Speaker Pelosi. No. If you don't find a way to address voting, you'll never have the opportunity to address this. And it's a serious, serious problem. Babies are getting poisoned whilst in the womb. And understand you simply cannot shop your way around this. And then we out here waterbending says they don't care, lol.
Thank you.
Thanks, you know what?
Thank you. Yeah, I don't even need to say anything to that other than you're wrong, obviously, and also you're a crazy person who's trying to equate non-existent voter fraud to a possibly existent microplastic in babies issue.
No, it's not voter fraud. It's the...
No, they just said about voting, didn't they?
Well, it's about the stopping people from voting thing.
Oh,
that was recent. That Pelosi was on.
This was okay.
No, because she added Pelosi. She was like, "No, you should be like."
Okay, never mind. All right, sorry.
You should get this voting thing done. You know, they should let people vote so you can move on to this baby thing.
Okay, all right.
Which to me is so
weird.
Funny.
Yeah, that's such a weird.
Like this is serious. Come on. But I love it like you're adding a friend on Twitter and it's Nancy fucking Pelosi. Like you're like, who in their right mind thinks Nancy Pelosi is gonna
respond
anything done?
Nancy Pelosi is gonna get on her iPhone 5 and tweet out to you, "Hey, oh shoot, I'll get on this right away.
I just heard about this microplastic in babies thing.
We already brought in a bill to
right.
But damn, those gosh darn Republicans, they just want plastic in babies, man.
Yeah, they really enjoy their having plastic.
You should give me $5 and we'll fight the Republicans a little bit harder.
I know this because this person went through, they did another post.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
They said, honestly, this is unconscionable. One cannot self-identify as pro-life and ignore this growing problem.
Okay,
all right. It has to be addressed comprehensively and quickly. Get rid of the filibuster, at POTUS, at Speaker Pelosi, at Senator Schumer. It's a different time. The country has changed.
Okay, all right then.
So yeah, they're cool. They're cool. Just insane.
They're also insane. Yeah, like, they need help.
Nobody said anything about any of these problems. But you stay having it in your head rent free.
Fuck, that's crazy as shit, actually.
Why
the fuck, man?
To me, that's what a liberal is. No, it's like walking around not thinking about how the real problems and thinking about, I can't believe we still have the filibuster. It's like,
what? Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. Maybe not have the filibuster, but like
that is a problem. But
we're not gonna get rid of the filibuster. Let's not hang up on it too much and not be surprised when we don't lose the filibuster. Let's try to work in the system that they're allowing to keep.
It's the right answer, but it's an interesting way that you got to it. You know,
like God, man.
It's like, God, see, this is why we shouldn't have the filibuster, because there's plastic in babies. Like, listen to yourself. You know what I mean?
Calm down. Yeah, you're making the wrong. It's
wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bloomberg quick take.
Oh, this is a new thing?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Article.
Oh wait, hold on. Before you do this, welcome to a new segment called Bloombad.
Bloombad. That's so good.
This is obvious. I've never taken an improv class.
Bloombad is so good.
I'm sorry. Listen. I have a Bloomberg article. You have a Bloomberg article. It's clear that there's something wrong with Bloomberg, and we need to talk about it.
It's really bad.
Yeah. Okay. Bam, bam. Electric guitar lick.
Okay. New Zealand is giving up on its zero-tolerance approach to eliminate COVID as the country struggles to contain a Delta outbreak in Auckland.
Interesting, because I actually saw something about this in the research for my stuff. Yeah, but I didn't read into it because I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Right. Well,
dumb American here just doesn't give a shit.
They've been hella on lockdown for pretty much the entire pandemic.
Yeah, okay.
And they've only had 30 deaths.
You know, can't complain then. I mean, listen.
Pretty dope. They were able to have rugby and everybody would show up and they were cool. Like they were like living life like normal other than the lockdown that's been happening.
Dude, if that's the case, they probably only had a couple thousand COVID cases then.
This year, it's only been 2 deaths.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll find the exact.
Well, I mean, that's if they were able to do that, which makes sense if they were on lockdown.
Yeah.
And something I hate, and I'm probably not going to be related to this at all. Something I hate a lot is whenever I see like, oh, guys, Florida did so much better than everyone else with COVID, and they didn't have lockdowns. No, we didn't.
What
we did
are you
pretty
fucking
bad.
Talking about?
And we did pretty bad, especially with this new Delta variant.
We did really bad.
I think we've had a higher capita than some. We've had higher capitas than like liberal states, and people are like, well, New York was on lockdown, and they still had as many deaths as Florida. I'm like, well,
there's more people per capita in New York.
Yeah, I think there was something about like if California had the capita rate that Florida had, they would have had like 6,000 more deaths.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. That was like a long time ago, but like that was
Florida's
still
a huge state.
Yeah,
we should not have had this many deaths.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it really does matter the size of the state and the size of how you know. New York people have to build into the sky to live there.
We're relatively far, like spread apart from each other.
Yeah.
There's only a couple high rises and a couple like clusters.
There's a couple clusters of cities, but like even where you were living, that was like pretty far apart from each other.
Yeah, and suburban.
Like you could have 2 or 3 people in your house socially distancing from each other.
Yeah.
But like in New York, probably not because they have tiny little apartments. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Completely off topic. But yeah, Bloomberg.
It's 4,500 cases and 30 deaths in all of New Zealand.
That is not bad.
This entire pandemic.
Not bad.
It's wild.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah. But
they're giving it up because they can't contain a Delta variant. So they're basically like acknowledging it's going to be endemic, and now there's vaccines. So now they're going to
focus
lift
on
up their
vaccinations
lockdown and focus on vaccinations.
Which that makes sense. I've been wondering, like, what is it? Especially since now there's finally newer stuff coming out with COVID.
Yeah.
There's apparently a new antiviral that's coming out, or there's a pill that's supposed to be FDA approved soon, hopefully,
cool,
or not.
wow.
It's going to be submitted for FDA approval.
Damn, I didn't know.
Yeah, and there's still a bunch of people researching as many different cures to this because people kind of figured out early on that it was going to be endemic. The reason why I still wear a mask and not go out as much is because I know that, like, even though I'm vaccinated, even though like, you know, I'm theoretically safe, there's still a lot of people that aren't vaccinated. There's a lot of people that aren't, that still are at risk right now. We don't have all the tools I think are necessary for me to be completely comfortable with, like, I'm going to go back to complete normal. I'll only go out every 2 months or something.
If I was a New Zealander and I was vaccinated and I lived in New Zealand, I would probably be able to go out.
Yeah, 100%. I do not feel comfortable here in Florida doing that.
Because not a bunch of people are like, I don't need to get vaccinated, the fuck, you know? And so if I'm walking around, I might kill that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I don't want to fucking kill that guy. I don't care how evil he is or how stupid he is or if he voted for Trump or whatever.
No, he deserves to live. He's a person.
Yeah.
You know?
But like, it's like
going out and
that guy is what makes me not want to go out.
Exactly.
Because, you know, then that could cause a bunch of fucking problems for a lot of people. Yeah. And I don't subscribe to this idea that if we can't control somebody else, obviously we can't control anybody, but that, oh, well, do whatever you want. Because, you know,
obviously
that's how it is.
That's ridiculous.
No, I think that's crazy. But there are people that think like that. And a lot of people in America do think like that. I think that's what the majority of people who go out and don't wear masks think. I'm vaccinated. I deserve to be able to go out, so I'm going to go out because we're a very individualistic society in America.
For sure.
Yeah, we're definitely not minded with our neighbor. And, you know, especially now in politics, it's like our neighbor is Republican, our neighbor is a racist, our neighbor is this, our neighbor is that, blah, blah, blah. We don't agree with them. So I don't care, you know, and it's like, okay, yeah, but this is a problem. Yes. You can't disagree with somebody on basic human rights, but like, you also can't kill them either.
Yeah. Sadly.
I would love it. I would love that.
I would love to be a sociopath, you know?
Go ahead and kill a bunch of racists. That's why we have Dexter, to live out that fantasy. That's why we made Dexter. This
video is sponsored by the new Dexter Final Blood.
I really gotta see that. I gotta watch all of the old Dexter.
God.
Get to watch the new Dexter.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. All right, so yeah, so okay. New Zealand's okay.
Anyway, Rat Rage says about fucking time. Ridiculous it lasted this long. Honestly, friends in Auckland sick and tired of this unrealistic approach.
Unrealistic?
Yeah, this is really bad. I haven't found a comment so far
that's like pro that they did a good job and now they're
like the OP comment thread. I haven't found that. Wow. It's a bunch of people responding to those, but like
there's not a single comment that was like, well, that's cool.
Oh wow, great,
good for them.
Yeah, no. So somebody else goes, not unrealistic at all. It has helped keep numbers relatively low while slow coaches get their vaxes. Your friends clearly wanted Delta rampant throughout the country. I'd ditch them if I were you.
Oh, well, bad news. I don't think they're gonna ditch them anytime soon. Yeah, if they're like, oh, fucking Delta's bullshit.
So Stephen Hennessy says some crazy whack shit that I have no idea. Maybe you know anything about this.
All right, let's see. As we all know, I know everything. So let's go. I don't, but.
Just wait for the bill to be itemized for the damage this strategy has done to undiagnosed cancers, delayed treatment leading to early preventable deaths, mental health problems, financial ruin for many people, and missed education for children.
Okay, so that's a lot to unpack. Even from what is it? Fucking okay. So point by point, most of that's nonsense.
Right. That sounds like a bunch of nonsense.
No, yeah, because unironically, so okay, apparently this person's equating the idea that keeping people locked up meant that no one got any cancer treatment, or like
That's at least what it sounds like.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Extremely vague.
No, because like they don't understand that there's specific hospitals designated for COVID, and there's other hospitals that aren't designated for COVID that try to take in regular. Like your dentist isn't gonna fucking
or like there's
take
entire
in COVID
floors
patients
for COVID.
Yeah, they quarantine it off as much as possible, and they still allow people to try and get in.
Also, kids didn't miss education.
Yeah,
they were schooling from home.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's
that's probably shittier, but it's like,
but they're still getting something.
At least they're alive.
Like, yeah, I was and I was fortunate enough that that pretty quickly we were able to make the transition to schooling from home during the beginning.
Yeah,
and I was still able to learn shit.
2-year-old.
Yeah, with our 10-year-old kid.
With our college.
No, okay, so that's just weird. The idea that no other diseases were cured during this.
Yeah, everybody who had cancer died.
Yeah, and not only that, but if New Zealand only had 4,500 cases, their hospitals probably didn't have that much COVID.
They're probably chill. And 30 deaths.
Can you read that again from after the I guess diseases, I guess. Just from the beginning. Do it from the top.
Okay, yeah. Just wait for the bill to be itemized for the damage the strategy has done to undiagnosed cancers.
Ridiculous. That makes no sense.
Delayed treatment leading to early preventable deaths.
Stupid.
Mental health problems.
Okay, this is where we have to give like 1 point with 10 asterisks.
Right, it's like, I mean, yeah.
You're right, yeah. Probably being isolated all the time isn't a great thing.
But
I mean, what's
death.
more? Yeah, there's the point that I think a lot of people miss out on
is that you're gonna die.
You have 2 options. You either live and have depression for like 3 years, which sucks.
That does suck.
Or die. Potentially.
You could potentially die.
And have a potential to die every like 6 months.
Some people are so afraid of being alone and being sad that they would rather kill themselves. Is what we've learned.
Yeah, and that's sad. And we should, if you're going to talk about mental health, why are you looking into the camera so much, Sarah?
Sounds like it's a mental health problem.
Yeah, no shit. That's my point. I think that seems like maybe we should have a better infrastructure for that.
So that's what it is. It's not necessarily. Well, that's the thing. And like this person, I'm sure is a United States person.
Oh no, for sure, because they don't live in we live in a trash world where people don't take mental illness seriously.
Like, well, I mean, New Zealand might have a different.
They probably have a better thing than us.
So New Zealand is finally caught up with the science. How COVID will become endemic. Another crazy fact, the sky is blue. Now I really want to get through this thread.
Okay, go through it because I already hate this guy.
It's not about what you think it's going to be.
Wait, really? So it's not going to be it's not going to be like, yeah, but the science
partly,
was...
but not. Okay.
Okay. All right. Go through it. I'm gonna have my water right for a spit take. Let's go.
Actually, the sky is violet. We just see it as blue due to the way it interacts with our eyes. Furthermore, our strategy in New Zealand was always following the science. Lockdowns to protect ourselves when vaccine levels were high enough. You're welcome. You're right. It's just funny the way you started that. You're right. You were right.
You gotta, first of all, fucking nerd. Second of all, shut up. My God. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're right. Good for you. But like, this isn't the time for your trivia? Maybe? Okay. I don't say like, okay. I don't go to, you know.
Okay, so there are now, this conversation now branches.
Is it gonna shift
2 paths?
Is it gonna shift from focus on the sky?
Yeah, it branches into 2 paths.
What the fuck? Okay, all right.
Do you choose the path less taken or the one about the COVID vaccines?
The one less taken, because that seems like that's...
This is the funniest thing I've read in a long time. And we talked about karate 2 days ago. Fucking Lulu says, is the sky not clear and the blue is just a reflection of the water from the sun?
What are you on?
Who told you that?
Who told you that?
That sounds so not right.
You're telling me in Death Valley, millions of feet away from the nearest water source.
So you've been thinking that
the Pacific Ocean
turns
or whatever
orange.
Ocean, it's gonna turn orange because there's no water,
and then turns black.
The water's black,
and that's what makes the sky black. You've been thinking the ocean makes the sky that color? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, how would it become orange?
What
how
would
it become
the vaccine? Why did you talk about this?
Okay, hold on.
Why did you just? No, I have the actual reason.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Please. Okay, fucking. Why are we talking about this? We're talking about New Zealand. Like
Cash Lettuce says it's actually Rayleigh scattering. Blue photons get trapped in the upper atmosphere. Same reason it changes colors when the sun starts to set. Photons spread out over a large area. Wavelengths spread out over a large area.
All right. Nerd.
There you go. That's it.
That's the end of that thread.
Yeah.
Why did we get to what the guys?
Anyway, the main guy said huge difference between protecting yourselves and trying to eradicate a virus that is clearly going endemic. This was established over a year ago.
Well, I mean, yeah, but a year ago we didn't have anything to really fight it.
Yeah.
That's why we locked down and tried to stay away from each other to not spread it.
Yeah.
And not overwhelm hospitals that weren't prepared to.
Yes.
Do we have the memories of goldfish?
Now at this point in society, it's like if you are not a selfish asshole, everybody's gonna yell at you and ask you why you weren't a selfish asshole. Like, why were you doing that? You're such an idiot. You fucking dumbass.
Yeah, like, come on. Like,
why weren't you being selfish like the rest of us? It makes me feel bad for being selfish. I want to
remind everybody we're close to like 700,000 deaths in the United States.
High score, baby.
Millions of deaths worldwide.
Number one. USA, number one. Number one high score in COVID.
Obviously, something's wrong if you're just cool with 700,000 people. Keep in mind, by the way, technically with COVID, even though everyone stayed home, in 2020, the deaths in America were higher than they were the year prior. People will say that, like, oh, actually, because no one got in car accidents, no one got heart disease as much because they weren't eating as much fast food and going to the car drive-through.
I feel like more people were eating fast food.
Probably, yeah.
I was.
But, like, people are trying to say, like, oh, because everything else got lowered. Oh, the flu wasn't there, you know? COVID still outpaced regular deaths.
It was a 9/11 every day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
And people are still trying to be like,
and now it seems
deaths
like
are lower in America now.
People are mad that people aren't dying. That's what it seems like in New Zealand. Everybody's like, finally. And it's like you sound mad that more people haven't died.
God, finally, man. We'll just...
Finally, more people are going to die in New Zealand, so
Thank God.
They can't use this information against me.
New Zealand's probably better at vaccination than we are.
Well, okay, that's the other thing. They're going to reach 80% vaccinated like soon.
Oh, they're probably close to fine.
Good.
Well, I mean, they're fine. I think it's supposed to be like 10% more, and then it's like really.
Then it's
more
really
than
good.
Likely okay.
It's still like it's way closer. 80%.
Yeah, I think we're at like 60% in America.
Yeah.
Not even, I think.
No, I think we were like happy to get there, and then everybody stopped getting vaccinated.
It's really, God, so fucked, man.
So Richard says, reread the previous tweet. Our strategy was never locked down forever. You were simply misinformed. And then the original guy says, I never said that they would lock down forever either. Sure you didn't. New Zealand is giving up on its zero tolerance approach to eliminate COVID. Eliminate equals eradicate. No, it was never going to happen, but you people who really believe the vaccines would eradicate COVID. But you have people who would really believe the vaccines would eradicate COVID.
Well,
nobody ever said that about the vaccine.
Yeah, I think it was just a hope that it would stop spreading it as much.
Yeah.
Like, that was really what it was. And sadly, and God, I hate this fucking, I hate anti-vaxxing Republicans. Because
they're the
ones, there's a lot of them. Yeah, they're very loud. And, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I know there's Republicans that have gotten vaccinated for sure. You know, like, there's plenty of people, you know, everyone in Congress is vaccinated.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, every single person that has to walk into the fucking White House.
Every rich person is
rich person's been vaccinated, and they got it as soon as they could get it because they know that, like...
Yeah, or they're rich enough to pay for everybody just to not touch them.
Yeah, and the reason why we want everyone to get vaccinated is so everyone could go back to work and make them more money. Like, that's obviously what it is.
Absolutely.
the thing is, though, I've lost my whatever original point I was gonna make.
Cool.
What is it like? It's so these. God, I'm just frustrated. I guess I'm just frustrated because like it's so.
It is really demoralizing to see. Because I keep seeing this where it's like I was going to bring up, I saw this vaccine ad because now in America, we have to advertise getting vaccine.
Yeah.
Because people won't fucking go out and do it. There are ads for this fucking vaccine. And I keep seeing in the comments, everybody is like, oh, propaganda. Like I saw a meme that was the 80s text. You know?
Oh yeah, I know.
And it was like, fucking, what was it? I don't know, man. Seems like a bunch of communist propaganda. I was like,
that's so dumb.
Getting a vaccine for a deadly virus is communist propaganda to you.
So here's the
also it's called agitprop.
Yeah, get it right, guys.
Thank
we
you.
all watched Inside.
Yeah.
So no, I guess my original point, now that I remember it now. The problem right now is that with the vaccine, because technically people who are vaccinated with it can spread it, but also not as much.
But yeah,
they're focusing on the fact that you can still get COVID and still spread it even with the vaccine.
They've always said that, though.
Yeah,
I've always known
they
that
said
that
there's a chance, and then as the Delta variant came in, it was like, oh, there's more of a chance that I'll spread it. You know, and
that
then
makes sense.
And then everyone like, okay, so I'm gonna do a Daily Wire thing later, and I couldn't read the article for some reason. They don't want the public to see it about how like, oh, the vaccine, the safe and effective vaccine, and I already know what the article's gonna say. It's like, well, if it's really effective, why do people still get it and why do they still spread it?
Because the vaccine's never stop you from getting it.
Yeah,
it just makes it not suck ass when you do,
and it reduces your chance so much of dying.
It's so stupid. People are dumb. I don't know.
It's just fucking ridiculous, man. I don't know. God, this is a comedy podcast.
Yeah. Okay, this one just bothers me because I'm taking a deaf culture class right now. So when he goes, sign language is unnecessary when you could show subtitles for a scripted speech. Silly. So that's not true, actually. You want as many...
Yeah, you want as much of
accessible things, because some deaf people would rather have sign language and some deaf people would rather have transcription.
Yeah.
But like...
Yeah, having both is better than having one.
It's better for somebody to be able to knowingly communicate if they're more fluent in sign language than having to read subtitles. There are still deaf people who don't like subtitles.
Huh.
You know? Like, of course. Like, it's not just like because it's helpful to them. There's also deaf people who know sign language who maybe don't know English.
Yeah, true. Exactly. But if you know sign language, yeah.
Yeah, if you only do subtitles, it's always helpful to have something sign language then also subtitles. Like, that's ridiculous.
No, yeah, I 100% agree with that. That makes sense.
And it's also like, why is this a problem, you dumbass? What?
What is it? Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't like the lady that's making the sign language on the fucking thing. That's fucking stupid. What is wrong with you? I'm gonna bully. This is the only thing this class has taught me. I'm gonna bully anybody who doesn't like sign language now. I'm not gonna learn sign language, but I'm gonna beat them up.
Hell yeah.
And be like, what the fuck? I'm gonna be the himbo that's like the himbo that's like fucking but you're picking on the deaf kid.
God damn.
Oh man. Pretty much everybody else is saying the same thing.
That makes sense. I feel like it's just a big circle jerk. And then another circle jerk, followed by another circle jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I don't know.
Thanks,
anyway,
Bloomberg.
Well, their take on it was that it was bad. The way that they're doing it is bad. I don't know. It's stupid.
Bloombad.
Bloomberg is bad. The people that read Bloomberg are bad and don't like deaf people.
I gotta get to my Bloomberg thing.
Nice.
So this is not okay. Welcome to the Josh segment. So
it's Josh time, baby.
It's the Josh portion of the Bloombad segment.
And then put like fire behind you, and then guitar, and then like sunglasses on you. It's Josh time, baby.
Josh time, baby.
Pachoo!
All right. So
Josh part of Bloombad.
Yeah, Bloombad time, baby.
Did you bring those sunglasses in here just so you could wear them on the podcast?
I had them when I went to recycle the shit we have. They're in the car thing, and I just accidentally left them on my collar. So now they're just on me now.
Oh, accidentally?
Yeah, they're accidentally, yeah. Sometimes I put it on my thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Accident.
Sarah, when have I ever worn sunglasses on this podcast?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Never.
You wanted to.
Didn't.
Yeah, you planned it out.
Didn't.
You would. You would plan it out.
Find this fucking
You haven't taken them off yet?
All right. Okay, Sarah. Sarah, are you fucking ready, Sarah?
Yeah.
Squirt game. That's what you sent me.
I did. I sent him a meme for a squirt game.
All right. Let's get this shit out of here. It's a flash drive. Whatever.
Okay.
Got nothing on it.
Cool.
All right, everybody. So, this is a Bloomberg opinion article.
Fuck yeah, bro.
You ready?
Inject that shit
into
my fucking veins, bro. Oh my god, I fucking love Bloomberg so much. Bloomberg opinions for this show is like a match made in goddamn heaven, bro.
So I don't know. I don't think we talked about this a couple months ago. We might not have.
That's fucking straight heroin. I'm ready.
So there was a different Bloomberg opinion article about Amazon is doing a good thing by making their own company towns. That was months ago. That was like a month ago. And I want to preface that with what I'm about to say.
I want to say also the kids are saving the economy article by getting jobs.
Yeah, teens should get jobs.
That was a Bloomberg opinion article.
Amazon should be able to make housing and their own currency.
Good. It's such a bad idea.
You think that's a bad idea?
Yeah. What's this one?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
First of all, cut through the chaos and subscribe to Bloomberg is what the thing told me.
Cut through the chaos. I'm going to steal that. Chaos. Let's steal that for this fucking show.
Bloomberg opinion business section.
Right.
Give Amazon and Facebook a seat at the United Nations.
I saw this one. I saw this one a while ago, and I was like, "What? That's this was posted yesterday. Stupid." Yeah,
this was posted yesterday at 2 a.m.
I saw that yesterday.
They didn't want anyone to know that they posted this.
Straight up, I think I saw that as soon as it was posted.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Given the scope of their ambitions and our dependence on them, behemoth brands should be treated and held to account. All our bases are covered. You can't say that we think this is a completely good thing. For what they really are. Commercial superpowers.
So read the title again, Josh.
Sorry, hold on. Yeah, give Amazon and Facebook a seat at the United Nations.
A commercial superpower. Give a commercial superpower a seat at the United Nations.
Sarah, you're going to love their reasoning for this.
Oh my God.
All right. I need you to do me a big favor.
Yeah.
For let me get through this main thing and I'll let you know when we can discuss.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of Venn diagrams that we're about to make. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Or a lot of connections. Yes. All right. As a writer, I love connections.
I love diagrams. Let's go.
There's a lot we got to connect some dots here, guys.
Let's fucking go.
The photo, by the way, I need to say this. It's a photoshopped image of the first moon landing, but instead of an American flag, it's an Amazon flag.
Shut your mouth. Shut your damn mouth. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
This is a good idea.
In my life.
Guys, this is a good idea. You guys got to trust me on this.
Fuck. Okay.
You got to let me get through this first sentence. This is a funny sentence.
No, yeah, you go ahead.
It's getting harder to distinguish brands.
My penis. It's getting harder at the thought of Amazon giving me a bunch of money.
Sarah, I asked for like 10 seconds. I asked you for 10 seconds.
I couldn't do it. You couldn't. Yeah, of course
not. That's not even the funny part, Sarah.
It's like
you gotta let this article be a joke for itself.
Josh,
come on,
Josh. You can't say that. Like, hey, you gotta not talk after this article. Anyway, D's. D's right. What, Josh? Is it D's nuts? No way.
All right, okay. It's getting harder.
My fucking dick.
It's getting harder to distinguish brands from nation states.
No, it's not. It's really not. It's pretty.
No, Sarah.
It's pretty easy.
Sarah.
Don't touch my glasses. It'll smudge my glasses.
The resemblance is not simply semiotics.
Okay.
All right. So in this paragraph, I'm going to say a word, and the word after it's going to have parentheses over it. Okay.
Okay.
Logos, flags, anthems, jingles, taglines, mottos, mission statements, constitutions, founder stories, official histories, terms and conditions, legal codes, ... structures, customers, citizens, shareholders, legislators, board of directors, executives, chairmen, monarchs, CEOs, presidents, and oversight boards, judges, or even size, though comparisons are startling. Walmart Inc. employs roughly the population of Botswana. Microsoft Corp's market cap is greater than Brazil's GDP. FedEx Corp has 5 times more planes than Air India Limited.
No, Heart. No.
Wait, Sarah, you're telling me that in today's modern democratic state that we live in America, the US of A, you're telling me that chairman parentheses monarchs is a bad idea.
Chairman parentheses God.
right though? No, you can't just drop in monarchs. You can't just drop in monarchs like we're a fucking feudal state now. Like you can't just we haven't experimented with that as a society.
This is why we needed to keep up the reputation of the British royal family, so that fucking dumbass Americans don't think that monarchs are just CEOs of their family.
Yeah, right? God. Can you imagine?
That's the dumbest thing I've fucking ever heard.
This article. Holy shit. Okay, it's going to get worse as we try to... We got to explain this, guys, all right? The more substantial resemblance derives from the breadth of brand ambition and the depth of our brand dependence.
And the depth of my mouth with your cock in it. And with Amazon's cock in it.
God. All right, take the current global chip crisis. Nowadays, ever-increasing tracts of the world economy rely on the pure wafer foundry market, of which 55% is controlled by the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Not only does TSMC pick which businesses get the chips they need and which countries get its new, quote, fab factories, the company's leadership has warned nation-states against competitive onshoring and advised China not to invade. As to an invasion by China, said TSMC's chairman Mark Liu, let me tell you, everybody wants to have a peaceful Taiwan Strait because it is to every country's benefit, but also because of the semiconductor supply chain in Taiwan. No one wants to disrupt it. So because a company does business and has a political want that they want to have,
my soul left my fucking body.
They should be able to be on the Peace Council.
If Taiwan getting peace is because of this company and only a company, I don't know what the fuck. Maybe there's something wrong with the world.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something. Humanity is truly evil because at that point we can only act in ways in which are only beneficial to ourselves.
Yeah, because again,
that is a symptom of a highly individualistic society to the point where
a company,
the only way you can achieve peace between nations is whether it makes you money or not. Like, yeah. I will fucking kill a dog or something to feel again. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, yeah,
because
I'm gonna spoil. I'm gonna spoil my opinion real quick on this.
Oh, Josh, do you believe in this? Huh?
Well, no. What's the difference between a company and a nation? A company is only concerned with its profits, its bottom line, its ability to maintain a
that is an article that is only able to be written in America. Because
no shit.
You can say what's the difference between a company and America, and you can be right. However,
the
that's
thing
not
is, though,
what every country should be.
No, yeah,
America
even a
is
decent
bad.
Country should take care of its people first. You know,
yeah.
That's so like
absolutely the point of it being differentiated between company and country.
Yeah, so that's why the whole premise of the article doesn't work. Is that the people that work for Amazon are not being treated right. They're it's as if they were a dictatorship, pretty much. You know, like it's so. You can't do that. And to give a dictatorship a seat at the UN seems like maybe not the best idea.
Yeah.
And I know there probably are actual countries out there that are dictatorships that have seats at the UN because, it's technically, it's just.
But it's okay, listen, you want to call Amazon, do you want to call Amazon a country? Yeah. It's Nazi Germany. Pretty much. You want to, what do you want? You want to give that a seat at the UN?
See what happens when you put them on the security board, see what happens.
Do that so that you can have Poland say, yeah, I'm not sure.
Not sure that's a great idea.
You should be making your workers, or I'm sorry, your citizens pee in bottles. You should probably give your citizens bathroom breaks. I'm sure Bloomberg business probably wouldn't like this idea if they realized they would then have to give them rights. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You would probably have to let your fucking workers go to the fucking bathroom then.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? I would assume. Maybe you would have to pay them a fucking living wage if you're going to pretend to be a socialist country.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what you want. You want a capitalist.
No, of course. Yeah, you just want another
capitalist. This really pisses me off. Capitalist societies.
Sorry, it gets worse.
To fucking argue with each other so that more white men can accumulate more mass wealth and keep it out of the hands of brown men and women. And you know what? I think you can suck my fucking cock because that will never fucking happen. And if it does happen, I'm storming the UN. I'm going in there and I'm going to fucking assassinate the fucking head of Amazon.
But Sarah,
how much worse does it get? Oh, shit.
If this all sounds a tad whimsical.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I think there's a different word for it.
Comparing gadflies to Goliaths, it may be because of the cultural dominance of the Westphalian system, under which the global balance of power has been envisioned since 1648 as a mosaic of centrally controlled and culturally unified nation states, each wielding a monopoly of force inside mutually recognized borders. In reality, of course, these Westphalian axioms have always been more or less fluid. State sovereignty is regularly pooled militarily, legally, and economically. Central control has repeatedly yielded to demands for democracy and regional autonomy. Cultural unity has become fragmented by religious freedom, mass migration, and globalization. The monopoly of force is increasingly challenged by stateless terror and non-state cyber attacks, and the sanctity of state borders have been violated by the miasmas of pollution, climate change, invasive species, and infectious diseases. That said, for all its limitations, the Westphalian version of sovereignty remains a useful lens through which to assess the emergence of brands as global players in their own right.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Can you imagine giving your counter arguments and then being like, that's why we need it?
Can you imagine who gave this business major intern a fucking history class? And can you imagine them being more interesting so he actually paid attention? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry, you took an ancient Eastern European world history class. I know exactly which class you took and with which professor because I was there and I saw this guy say that every county in Florida used to be a kingdom and every mayor used to be a king, and I saw your brain work and I saw it turn and be like, what if companies, and I should have slapped you right then because you went out and you wrote this article and people are reading it and they're responding to it with their brains.
Yeah.
And nobody should have ever had to grace this, and I should have never had to hear it. And you should have never been born, honestly, if you were going to say such fucking awful, terrible things. And just
no, it really does feel like someone from InfoWars took a class. Like
that is what it is.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh wow, globalism kind of fucked things up for everybody, didn't it? Pollution, global warming. God, I wish that wasn't a real thing because then we could all just we can just have feudalism.
That's what that is.
Yeah, that's what this is.
You just want fucking feudalism of companies.
Imagine 1658.
And then saying religious freedom is what has caused the breakage of.
You know what this is? This is like fucking anarcho primitivism, but for corporations.
Yes,
that's all this is. It's so dumb, man.
It's very dumb.
It's super dumb.
There's a reason that we've evolved to this point.
You're telling me there's a reason why we don't just all drop our phones and go live out in the woods and hunt for prey and go grab berries?
No, there's a reason for advanced medicine and a reason for it to be funded by a large amount of fucking money taken smallly from a bunch of people. Yeah. You know, there's a fucking reason for taxes. There's a reason for people not having a personal economic interest in those taxes. And there's also a reason for fucking, oh my God, not having a bunch of tiny little warring little kingdoms, because honestly, it was war all the time.
Yeah, it was.
And everybody hated it. Everybody hated it. Every single person, even the people with the money, hated it. Even the people at the top did not like it because their sons were dying and their wives were dying and their wives were cheating on them. And it didn't matter because they couldn't divorce their wives because then they wouldn't have a queen and nobody would accept them.
Yeah.
Like, this is so stupid. I would never live in a, oh my God, 200 years from now, Amazon, the queen of Amazon is going to fuck the king of Facebook, and everybody's going to be like, did you hear that now she's pregnant with Facebook's daughter?
Mark
and
Zuckerberg the seventh.
The heir to the fucking throne of Facebook is in the hands of Amazon, and I'm going to suck my own cock in heaven because I'll be dead.
Speaking of war, Sarah.
You're welcome for all its content, Josh.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
God damn it.
This next section.
Yeah.
I probably will stop after this segment because we're going.
Look at my waveforms.
Oh my God. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Defense and the realm is this segment. External defense and internal assistance.
Did L. Ron Hubbard write this? Like, I'm like so confused.
Might as well. External defense and internal assistance have historically been the province, the raison d'etre, of developed nation states. Earthquakes, outbreaks, hurricanes, heat waves, floods, fires, insurrections, and invasions demand a scale of command and control typically available only to state military and civil agencies. COVID-19 tested this truism, even in the most advanced nations, both because of the pandemic's unprecedented global impact and because the highly specialized responses it required could often only be provided expeditiously by brands. Because Pfizer was the one that made the vaccine for COVID, they should have a seat at the UN. In many ways, the initial scramble for personal protective equipment and the subsequent jostling for tests and vaccines respected conventional, if questionable, public-private supply chains, even if the pandemic's severity meant deploying emergency powers, the 1950 Defense Production Act. Seeking legal coercion, the European Union sued AstraZeneca plc and provided liability shields invoking the 2005 PrEP Act to protect vaccine manufacturers from prosecution. More novel was how nation-states turned to private companies to solve the unprecedented challenges of contact tracing entire populations. In May 2020, Apple Inc. and Alphabet Inc.'s Google set aside their rivalry to launch an, quote, exposure notification API available to official public health bodies via iOS and Android. By September 2021, more than 40 countries and 25 U.S. states had plugged into this API, including initially resistant nations like England, Finland, Germany, and Norway. Significantly, many of the independent state-led solutions, notably Singapore's Blue Trace, Israel's Hamagan, and France's Covid, were still obliged to interact with Google and Apple, if only to use their App Store protocols to get to their technology onto their citizens' phones. Such embedded reliance help explain why, even in the depths of COVID's first winter, Eldman's Trust Barometer indicated that CEOs were more trusted than government leaders, religious leaders, and journalists. Business was more trusted than government in 18 of 27 countries. 68% thought CEOs should step in when governments fail to fix societal problem. So
the libertarians have done it.
Libertarians have won, basically. Or they're about to win.
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And you know what the point of all of this is? Having a different, having corporations and government apart from each other. It's so that the CEOs of the corporations, they go to work, they make the tough decisions, kill that guy, don't kill that guy, make the candy bars and ship out the popcorn to Singapore. You know, like do that so they can go home to their big fancy house with their big fancy wife and their big fancy food and their little kids and their gold bed or whatever, and they can lay down in their gold bed and think, I am nothing but a small, tiny man with no power. That's what, because you deserve to have that. You deserve that. Every single person does. Nobody should feel like they're bigger than anybody else. That's why we don't elect presidents that are like, I'm going to fuck the world with my big cock when I'm president.
Well, theoretically, we're supposed to do that.
We're supposed to not. We haven't classically for years until recently.
About 5 years ago.
which meant all the fucking CEOs jumped out of their seats and they were like, can I be a king now?
Yeah.
No, you can't. You can't be a king now. You will never be a king. You became a CEO because you thought that was the closest you could fucking get to being king. And maybe the libertarians, when they're all fighting their stupid dumb wars and their community colleges with the fucking people next to them when they're getting high, is like, what if fucking Fortnite built the roads? You know? Then the other person's like, that sounds fucking dumb. And he's like, but why? Tell me why Fortnite can't build the roads. And then he's like, I can't say anything. I'm high. And he's like, then you know that Fortnite should build roads. Then we would have better, more fun roads. And then that guy's like, I guess you're right. I guess I would have more fun on a Fortnite road than a regular road. And now we have 70% of people saying they would rather a CEO
come in, usurp the president, or serve every single government official and be like, I can solve this.
And you know what? That doesn't mean anything other than
fucking Elon Musk, Iron Man bullshit. We have dumbasses.
Shitty presidents and we have really good Iron Mans. That's what that means. That's what it is. It doesn't mean that you get to be king of your small government, because nobody wants to live in that world other than CEOs. That's the only thing. Every libertarian you've ever known is a CEO of his own tiny little dipshit LLC company that is going to go under in 2 days.
Because they never learn.
They never learn.
They never learn the hard lesson of, it's probably not going to happen to you.
It's the rise and grind people. Like, shut the fuck up.
Sigma grind set, hustle culture. Yeah, no, it's really and it's really fucking like depressing. Just because not only that too. This is not necessarily related to this, but I keep remembering there was some more news episode a while ago about like the apocalypse, right? And how are the rich going to handle the apocalypse?
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine. But what they're going to do to protect all their wealth, all their capital, all their supplies, because they have it, they're going to build their bunkers. They're going to try and hire people to try and do it, because they know that global warming is going to fuck everyone over, and they're still just letting it happen so that way they can have money. But they even talked about like putting like dog collars that zap you or like explode on like henchmen to protect the people.
Right. It's going to be little slave states.
Exactly.
Pretty much. It's what it's going to be.
And that's what would happen if we let Amazon, Facebook, Alphabet. Listen, guys, I know we're on YouTube. I know we're on Spotify. I know we're on all these big fucking corporations
whatever.
Because we have to be.
Oh, you don't like capitalism and yet you live in a society under it. Whatever. Yeah, make your points. But like fucking
maybe they shouldn't have Medicare. You know, like maybe they
think
shouldn't.
About it. Like if we let society continue in this way and nobody does anything about climate change and we run out of drinking water, or we get low on drinking water, the price of drinking water will go up, and the people that have the money to buy the drinking water will buy all of the water, and then only give it out to you if you promise labor to them, or will pay you pennies for whatever labor that you have.
Exactly.
And it'll be the same thing, but you just have to go to fucking Kansas, because that's where Elon Musk is, and Elon Musk owns all the water. And then everybody will say, oh shit, what a smart guy that guy is. No, he's not.
He's gonna get us to Mars.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, I don't want to read any more of that because that's really just infuriating.
That really bothers me.
I recommend reading it and realizing how stupid it is. Because
as a history buff, that's how that bothers me.
Yeah, there's so much more to this too.
The idea that going back to medieval times is ever a good idea, is ever a better idea.
It's not. It's not a good idea. God, just looking at this fucking...
There's a reason why it was called the Dark Ages, that everybody that got smart and got out of that system.
Yeah, apparently Netflix has mentioned this article. It's completely off topic. I don't know why. But
well, it's one of the countries.
One of the companies that should have...
Sorry, countries, Josh.
Yeah. No, nation state.
Right.
Yeah, nation state. Big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference. And the big difference is how small it is.
God.
All right, let's see what the next one is.
All right, so this next one's a little bit more fun.
Yay.
You heard anything about Andrew Yang recently?
I probably have, but I don't remember.
So I I like looking at conservative websites to find out what's going on in the conservative sphere,
Yeah.
TMCR. And
yeah.
And
Turner Classic Movies.
Turner Classic Movies, yeah. So did you know that Andrew Yang has left the Democratic Party and is now an independent?
Yes, I did know that.
You knew that?
I did know that, yes.
Did you read his letter on why he left?
No, but I can't wait.
All things considered, I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's not going to be a lot to completely laugh at here.
Okay.
But it does kind of get a little centristy.
Oh, that's fun. So
this is from his official website. This was written by him.
Both sides have great points.
Well, breaking up with the Democratic Party. Now, before we go, I saw
you kissing Kevin.
So before we do this, I want to remind everyone that Andrew Yang ran
I didn't see
in 2016 for the Democratic presidency.
I saw when I said I'd go to the bathroom and you were like, I'm going to go get punched, but you didn't get punched. You got Kevin's tongue down your fucking throat. And I'm breaking up with you. Democratic Party.
As I was saying, Miss Gossip Girl.
Okay, go ahead.
He ran in 2016 as a Democratic nominee.
And then he didn't win, so now he's breaking up.
No, there's another. He ran for New York mayor.
And he didn't win.
This year, and he didn't win.
So now he's breaking up.
So he's breaking up with the Democratic Party.
Okay.
I changed my voting registration from Democrat to Independent today. It was a strangely emotional experience.
Fucking nerd. You fucking nerd.
I registered as a Democrat back in 1995 when I was 20 years old to vote for Bill Clinton's re-election. It was a no-brainer for me. I went to a college that was very liberal. I lived in New York City. Everyone around me was a Democrat. Bill Clinton versus Bob Dole? Clinton was one of the youngest presidents when he was elected and seemed more in tune with me as a 20-year-old.
So I voted for a man because he looked like me? Okay.
Keep in mind that I grew up the son of immigrants and my family did not talk about politics at all growing up. I still have no idea how or even if my parents voted. I have a vague recollection of my mom watching a debate and saying, I don't like him, but I can't remember who she was referring to. She doesn't remember either. Throughout my 20s, I remained a staunch Democrat, though like many others, I was drawn primarily to national races. I co-hosted a small fundraiser for John Kerry's campaign at a bar when I was 29.
Chill.
I think we raised maybe $3,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not bad.
That's pretty good.
I thrilled to Barack Obama's victory in 2008 and, to a lesser extent, his re-election in 2012. Around this time, I was invited to the White House to receive recognition by the Obama White House as both a champion of change and a presidential ambassador in global entrepreneurship as the founder of a nonprofit, Venture for America, that helped create hundreds of jobs in the Midwest and the South.
Okay.
Bringing Evelyn to meet the president was a lot of fun.
That's fun.
In 2016, I donated to Bernie Sanders' campaign. Everything he said struck me as true, but then voted for Hillary Clinton against Trump. When Trump won, I was surprised and took it as a red flag and call to action. Having spent 6 years working in the Midwest and the South, I believe I had some insight as to what had driven Trump's victory. I spent several years making the case for what I believed was the major policy that could address it, universal basic income. As you'd imagine, as a Democratic presidential candidate, I met a lot of Democrats around the country, literally thousands. At first, many didn't know what to make of the odd Asian candidate talking about giving everyone money.
Yeah.
But over time, I established deep relationships with some of the local leaders who have worked in party politics for years. Al Womble in Iowa, Steve Marchand in New Hampshire, Jermaine Johnson in South Carolina, and others.
Okay.
I also became friends with some of the other candidates out in the field. Cory Booker, Michael Bennett, Pete Buttigieg, and Beto O'Rourke are people I'd consider friends who are motivated by the right things.
You're still friends with Pete Buttigieg?
Apparently, yeah.
That guy's a wacko. Is he better?
He's okay.
I just hate the way he looks.
He's a little rat.
He's like a little fucking...
He's a little rat. And he
took
votes
plastic
from Bernie.
face, you know? It's goddamn.
Yeah.
The fuck?
So,
okay.
As I've become more of a household name, I've worked with many senior officials. I headlined several fundraisers for the DNC and participated in fundraising appeals. I was a surrogate for Joe for months. I spent weeks in Georgia trying to help win the seats for John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock, helping raise millions to do so. I'm proud of helping to activate Asian American voters in what I believe were historic races.
Great.
And running for mayor, I similarly met and became friends with activists and elected officials who were longtime public servants on the Democratic side. People like Grace Meng, Richie Torres, John Liu, Carlos Manchada, sorry if I said that wrong, Kenny Burgos, Vanessa Gibson, and Dan Rosenthal are excellent. Okay. Again, I've at this point dozens of friends and confidants who are entrenched in the Democratic Party. I've been a Democrat my entire adult life, and yet I'm confident that no longer being a Democrat is the right thing.
Okay.
Please keep in mind that I am not suggesting that you also change your voter registration as independent as I have done.
Well, yeah.
Doing so could disenfranchise you. If you live in the 83% of the country that is very blue or very red. Well, for this reason, I considered either not making this change or not talking about it.
It also I don't know, in different states it will be different, and it also stops you from voting in the primary.
Yeah, depending on so I will say I do give them props for actually mentioning that, because if you live in Florida and you don't have, if you're an independent, you can't vote in either of the primaries.
I was going to register when I was 20 to be independent, and then they stopped me and said, but then you can't vote in the primary. And I was like, really? That's dumb.
No, yeah, it's very dumb.
Yeah.
It's a way to disenfranchise people. It really is. You should just be able to vote in whatever primary you want. You know?
You should be able to vote about that. And so now it's like a thing, like people will register as literally whatever, even though they personally don't believe in that party. Like I knew Democrats who registered as Republican to vote for not Trump. That's the thing. You can do that.
Fucking, I get it. You know, like
and that's and it's like, okay, sure, why not? And then
and like and that's why I chose Democrat. I mean, I was Democrat. I'm still considering myself a Democrat because that's the only way that I think personally is the best way. Like I get, like, I mean, technically Bernie Sanders is an independent, right? But he works with Democrats primarily,
right?
Because that's his best chance of getting shit done.
Yeah, I guess that's the only way I would identify as independent. I would be like, I'm coming out as more left.
Yeah, more left than Democrats. But because Democrats lean more to me, or I lean closer to way closer to Democrats than Republicans, I chose Democrat on my thing.
That makes sense, yeah.
So yeah, and I will say props to him for making sure that he mentions that. Although I will say the headlines that people are making might make people be like, oh, fuck the Democrats, And also, like, God.
This is weird. It sounds like he's coming out as a centrist.
We'll get to that. Don't worry. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So why do I feel in my heart that this is the right move? While it was simply a small piece of paperwork, I genuinely felt a shift in my mindset as soon as I signed it.
What?
My goal is to do as much as I can to advance our society.
Okay.
There are phenomenal public servants doing great work every day, but our system is stuck. It is stuck in part because polarization is getting worse than ever.
Okay,
that's Many of the people I know are doing all of the good they can, but their impact is constrained. Now that I'm not a member of one party or another, I feel like I can be even more honest about both the system and the people in it. The key reform that is necessary to help unlock our system is a combination of open primaries and ranked choice voting, which will give voters more genuine choice and our system more dynamism. It will also prevent the spoiler effect that so many Democrats are concerned about, which is a byproduct of a two-party system with a binary contest and simple plurality voting.
Very true.
That is true. That is true.
That is very true.
I believe I can reach people who are outside the system more effectively. I feel more ... independent. Also, on a personal level, I'll admit there has always been something of an odd fit between me and the Democratic Party. I'm not very ideological. I'm practical. Many partisan arguments, particularly expressing
Fortnite should bake the roads.
Fortnite should bake the roads, yeah. Making partisan arguments, particularly expressing what I often see as performative sentiment, is sometimes uncomfortable for me. I often think, okay, what can we actually do to solve the problem? I'm pretty sure that there are others who feel the same way I do. I've seen politicians publicly eviscerate each other and then act collegial or friendly backstage a few minutes later. A lot of it is theater. I have also had people publicly attack me and then text or call me privately to make sure that we were still cool. It just had to be done for appearances.
That's funny.
Perhaps it's the nature of my upbringing, but I'm actually more comfortable trying to fix the system than being a part of it. One very senior Democrat member of Congress texted me to say, I'm sorry to see you go, but I know you'll do as much good as you can from the outside. And eventually, remember, the outsiders become the insiders. I've got to say that it feels really good to be building my own team. This is where I'm most at home. Recently, in an interview, I commented that I wasn't particularly driven by desire to hold office. I'm working for impact. Breaking up with the Democratic Party feels like the right thing to do because I believe I can have a greater impact that way. Am I right? Let's find out together.
Okay.
Yeah. I will say there's some things in there that definitely make me feel like kind of centrist. And knowing Andrew Yang's
what things make you feel centrist?
Well, I think I guess because personally, I think because we already talked about it, I think working within the Democratic system and registering as a Democrat kind of makes sense. There's what is it? Apparently there was an attempt, I'm not entirely sure about this. I think he's trying to make like his own party and he's already worried about like the spoiler effect. Like he tweeted out like, guys, if you're really worried about the spoiler effect because I became an independent, you should just make ranked choice voting a thing. So he's already kind of recognizing that like,
yeah, maybe that is kind of true.
Yeah, that's what kind of like makes me.
It's either the entire system has to change.
Yeah,
for Andrew Wang or
Andrew Yang.
sorry, Andrew Yang, yeah. Or the other way around. You know, that's kind of how it is.
And it sucks. Don't get me wrong, it does suck. I do agree with a lot of what he's saying.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But I think the way he's going about it is, if nothing else, a little bit questionable. And not only that, because he has run for office and he has had some sort of goal in mind. He's
an ideological figure now. Even if he says he's not an ideologue, it's like,
he has to be. Because he had his main thing when he ran for president was UBI, and that's what people remember him for.
And that's an ideology at this point.
At this point, it's are you for or against it? Yeah,
but that's what it is.
It's a position that you can have, you know? So
I mean, and I think it's perfectly fine to personally be not with your, you know, not based around ideology and more around that, but then just step down.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, don't just quit the party, just like step down.
Yeah.
And then become like a social worker, fam.
Yeah. And it definitely has this vibe of like the only way that I'm going to be able to reach across the aisle is to be an independent, quote unquote.
That's just weird. No, it's not true. Yeah, obviously, Democrats are fucking doing it every fucking day.
Yeah, so like it's just like
because they don't get any shit done.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have talked about this if it weren't for the comment section.
Oh God,
on dailywire.com.
Jesus Christ,
Ben Shapiro's little baby boy. And
Benny boy, let's go.
Someone's typing right now. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck. But I don't know if we're gonna be able to see it.
Nah.
This is posted about 4 hours ago, everybody. This is a 4-hour old article.
Fun.
Hot and fresh, except it'll be like 2 days old when it comes out.
Hot and tasty. Let's go.
First comment. Top comment. Right. UBI is not a sound policy. It isn't what you make, it's what you spend. 3/4 of people with money problems have spending problems, not income problems. Totally agree on UBI. That being said, I think we need to get past creating opinions of individuals based on acute perspectives of his or her policy perspectives. I often think of independents as being in the middle, maybe centrist, maybe total libertarians or total authoritarians. That's just the case. Bernie Sanders was an independent for decades. Andrew Yang, I reckon, is likely between a centrist and a democratic socialist, i.e. closest to being a classical liberal. He just happens to have a bit of more of an anti-establishment appeal to many on the left side of the political aisle and a minor amount on the right side. As a right-leaning centrist, I happen to like the idea of someone like Yang pushing against the democratic establishment. Cannot say I would vote for him, though.
Yeah, because you're right-leaning.
Yeah, you're right-leaning.
At this point.
So I also, one of the reasons why I wanted to look at this as well is I've been hearing a little bit more about UBI recently.
Oh.
And this has kind of been on my thing about like the idea that UBI won't help people.
It absolutely
will. Yeah. This whole idea of like UBI not being a sound policy has been
What
in the test that it's
about?
been going, so it's been tested out in a couple different countries. There's a couple different organizations that try to do something similar to this, especially when it comes to helping out people in like the poorest poverty that have like nothing.
Yeah.
They'll go out and actually try to make their lives better with the money.
Right.
There's a lot of preconceptions of like, oh, they're just going to spend all of it on like booze or alcohol or whatever.
Most people want to pay off their bills.
Exactly. Most people want to be able to save up their money to,
do something,
live somewhere that isn't, the street,
Yeah, absolutely. It's not fun to be poor.
Exactly.
It's never a good time. Nobody wants to be that way.
Yeah. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Or, say they have spending problems, quote unquote. That's not a behavioral problem. That's a mental problem.
Yeah.
If you have universal basic income, then they can go get mental health.
Yeah. And then you'd have a better society if people can actually get the help they need. Yeah.
And UBI actually helped it fucking happen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane.
That's fucking crazy.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So what is it? I guess the reason why I wanted to bring up the comments is because there's going to be a couple of these that really prove to me that like this is probably not a good idea because the right's not really going to like him still.
Well, yeah, of course. Like it's not going to. He's not a shoe-on head, No,
yeah. And even then, I don't like shoe-on head that much.
Yeah.
He's a quintessential Democrat. He's just pulling what Bernie Sanders does because he thinks he'll have a better chance in future elections. Very transparent.
Is it?
Not.
I mean, it's good to be transparent.
It is good to be transparent, yeah. But like, fucking, what is it? The idea that like, first of all, he's not being transparent in the way that this guy's saying. He's being transparent in his views about it.
Yeah.
It's not a grift, I feel like.
No, it's very clear.
It's very clear as to why he's doing it. I don't think it's a grift, but it's definitely
there wasn't any
not a best idea. Yeah.
Language. It was just not really a great idea, probably.
Yeah, probably not the best idea to make happen,
But just like, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a personal decision he should have kept. Well, I mean, I guess you can't keep quiet like that. But then it's like, if you know that you're such a figure, then you have a personal responsibility.
That's the thing.
But,
yeah.
I mean, not everybody thinks like that. And I'm sure if it was something that so personally affected Yang, then, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. He may not identify as a Democrat, but he is still a socialist. I always remember that socialism is nothing more than the theft of private property by the government in the name of equal distribution of assets.
But in reality, inherently theft.
But in reality, it only benefits the elites. Everyone who understands the truth also knows that socialism crushes the human soul.
Oh, really?
Utterly and completely. Right underneath this, different person. UBI is socialism. That's not what I want. Our family left our home country in the late 1950s because government handouts mean no freedom and just enough crumbs to keep you alive. No thanks.
That's totally what it is.
That's
like
totally
now.
What it is. Yeah, 100%. Andrew, the best thing that you can do for this country is to siphon Democrats' votes as an independent like Ross Perot did to the Republicans.
Oh my God. You guys suck. You guys are a bunch of fucking jagoffs, man.
Newsflash.
Oh.
If Yang can't be, quote, honest about the party he was in, he's simply not an honest man. The party doesn't make the person, people make the party, and we people fail to keep their party honest.
What are you talking about? I'm sorry I don't march up to Joe Biden and tell him to tell the truth. That's not... I can. I live in Orlando.
If he really came to the conclusion that UBI was the answer to what had, quote, driven Trump's victory, then he has no idea what he's talking about. Slightly agree on this one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe that's a part of it, but it's definitely not the whole issue. The fact that Andrew Yang's like a really like one issue politician kind of bothers me too.
Well, I mean, I always thought that was just like he was just running to get universal basic income a platform. Like that is the platform.
True. Yeah.
To spread the idea. I don't think he was particularly crushed when he wasn't number 1 or 2. Yeah. Especially when you can't go into a presidential campaign with one basic thing and expect to become the president. It doesn't sound like that's what he was expecting either.
I don't know. I really have no idea.
I don't know. Can we all just be adults and not think that everybody who enters a race expects that they're going to win it? Like, that's really stupid.
I expect to win everything I do.
Right. It's like, Like, come on. We're not kids anymore. Like, we can understand that. God. I feel like Trump's winning is nothing to do with this. This is a completely different thing. But yeah. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe some people were so weirded out by socialism they ran into the arms of a rapist and racist.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think that's a little dramatic.
Yeah. Are you ready for probably the craziest comment I've heard?
Ooh, is this the worst take?
This might be the worst takes. This might be the worst take of the show, the worst takes.
Ooh.
If he still backs UBI, he hasn't seen the light. The boomers and Gen Xers have raised a couple generations of lazy, entitled children who think they, quote, deserve other people's money because their sociology and poli-sci degrees turned out to be worthless for anything but government jobs. The last 18 months has been a case study of why giving lazy people money not to work is a train wreck for America. Anyone who doesn't recognize that fact is willfully ignorant.
If you let the slaves free, then how are everybody going to work?
How are we going to be able to get the cotton out of the fields?
Exactly.
God forbid I have to pay someone.
The economy doesn't work, and it's the slaves' fault.
It is their fault. Yeah, they ran away. They ran away from me.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? They can come back. I won't shoot them in the head for disobeying me.
Exactly. I'll shoot one. So everybody else knows.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Couple more.
So that it's not like just one.
Really. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like, it's whatever. They're not like people or whatever. Yeah, wild.
Why?
That's wild that people are so committed to capitalism that they're just going to be like, no, if we give people money,
especially
then
when
the whole
it's
thing
obvious
falls apart.
Yeah,
and it's like, yes.
Yeah.
That's the point.
And I guess that's why I wanted to bring this up, because he mentions about, like, he thinks that UBI is the solution to Trump. That's how it kind of comes across.
Okay.
Or at least the way that, like...
That's a little.
Well, the way that he frames it, at least. I don't know what he actually thinks, for sure. Because...
Trumpism to me has become more of a...
Well, Trumpism was a slow building thing that got ballooned because of Trump. That's why we call it Trumpism now.
Right,
because in reality, the word should just be fascism.
Yes, it is fascism.
You know, and that's why it's really... he thinks that the main problem is that automation is going to be the thing. And the reason why he thinks that is because he worked... from startup to startup early on, and he funds helps to a nonprofit to help other startups and make sure they have jobs. And then he sees, like a burger flipping robot, and it's like, that's the reason why Trump's in office right now, you know?
Is it though? I don't see that. I don't know. I mean, the disenfranchised workers, is that what you mean?
I mean, I guess.
Like, how does that equate to Trump? To me, I see it's a lot of disenfranchised people who were told that what they believe after years and years and years of being told, oh, that's wrong, you're a piece of shit, no, that's stupid, was wrong. And then Trump came in and said, what if the Latinos are all rapists? And they were like, that's a guy that I want to fucking...
Yeah, that might be the thing, Or,
well, it was that they were so disenfranchised by the government.
They're so disenfranchised by the government, and they also...
And I mean by the government, I mean like the fucking current system of politics.
That's what you mean, yeah.
And seeing Trump and seeing him as like a maverick,
and then creating a group to focus the problems of society on.
Yeah.
When in reality, they don't cause problems in society. But if you say it enough, people start believing it.
Right. And then, I think there's a level of brainwashing that Trump did by saying the same thing over and over and over again. There's a level of people identifying with him just because he's a white male, white supremacist. People who were fans of his from The fucking Apprentice, because he was a media figure at this point in time. People who were following him through the Obama birther shit.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He was making political statements.
Yeah.
For years and years and years beforehand, and becoming more and more favored with the right. There was all of that combined into one, as well as people that were disenfranchised and just wanted literally anybody else that was not establishment to be
exactly. No, yeah, 100%.
The president, which is why it was like Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump, and that became the tipping point of if Bernie Sanders didn't get the primary,
it probably wasn't gonna go to whoever
the
isn't
Democrat.
Bernie Sanders. Yeah.
And then choosing the most establishment pick was not a great idea.
Probably not. Yeah, maybe you should have a little bit more thought on that before we decided to push the scale in her favor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if you think in the context of the election, then I think it becomes very clear why Donald Trump was elected.
No, yeah, I 100% agree with that.
I don't know. But I don't think it's because of burger flipping machines.
No, neither do I. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but that's crazy.
That's how it comes across in Yang's thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what's interesting now is watching him take a step back from the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And really the only and not having a complete at least not admitting to having a complete idea of why we're in the state that we're in.
Yeah.
And because of that, it feels misguided to leave the Democratic Party when it seems like there's a lot more going on. And as much as I hate Democrats and I hate a lot of liberals, gotta work with them.
Right. Well,
that's the thing.
I think the idea back in 2016 was there was not a Democratic unity, but there was a big unity on the right.
Yes. And to be fair, there's still not that much of a Democratic unity.
And now there's a faltering unity on the right.
Yeah.
Which is the price you pay with a chaotic pick like Donald Trump, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's the price you pay like after an attempted insurrection and killing people, almost attempting to kill members of your own party.
Yeah.
You know, like that's bound to happen. And then, you know, in 3 years, Trump's going to run again. And then we're going to have to pray to God that doesn't work out, you know?
I'm just going to hope that he dies before then.
God, I get it. And
not even just because I don't like him.
It's not, but then, God, then it's going to be
because I do love him a little bit. He was kind of lovable.
Cut the feed right now.
He's kind of adorable. I don't know.
Just an old senile man that just happens to lead a bunch of racists and fascists. I don't know.
Like, I never watched him really until COVID was a thing. And then when he brought out the box with the testing, you know, he was speaking. I was like, I couldn't help but like laugh and be like, ah, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's so cute. I don't know.
It's obvious he doesn't know what he's doing.
Like, damn it. He's really cute.
I don't know. It's just really interesting, this dynamic, and I guess that's why I wanted to bring it up, I guess.
It is an interesting dynamic. It's, you know, you hate the defector, you know? Mm-hmm. You don't want them to leave. You want them to stay with you so people don't disagree with your ideology. But that's a human fault. Failure is not letting other people... If somebody doesn't agree with you, then... they're right and you're wrong. There's nothing about that is true. It's that, you know, you're letting other people's mere being close to or not being close to somebody else determine your opinion.
Yeah.
And the only way to stop that from happening is by critically thinking. And that's why critical thinking needs to be taught correctly in schools. But, I mean, you know, that's just another failure of the system. Andrew Yang should be able to defect, should be able to go and live whatever life that he should be able to live.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But unfortunately, he is in the worst possible position to do that. If he was the mayor of Burger King Town, he could probably do that. But no, he was an ex-presidential candidate, an ex-mayoral candidate. So saying I'm not a Democrat anymore is going to make a bunch of people, regardless of if you say, please don't leave.
Do it. They're going to make a bunch more independents that will become disenfranchised.
Yes. That's what it's going to be.
Regardless, like, I don't know. And it reminds me of the, ironically, the Nicki Minaj situation where, and I remember I was watching Hassan talk about a Fantano take where it's like, listen, celebrities are just as like able to be misinformed as you. Yeah. And it's obvious. I don't think Fantano doesn't think that Nicki had any real bad intentions.
No, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. But because of her huge platform and because of people that are willing to jump on any sort of like, oh, this person's balls are expanded now. Yeah. Don't take the vaccine.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you have a platform, you got to be responsible with it. And you got to know, you have to really fucking think.
You do.
About every single major decision regardless of whether or not you think it's major or not.
Yeah, every single thing.
So, like, sure, it's just a piece of paper, quote unquote, but it's more than a piece of paper, sadly.
Right. Like, even you on your Twitch won't say, like, to a fan who says, I love you, you'll say, stop that.
Don't do that, please.
Because you don't want them, even though...
I don't know any of you fuckers.
You're not even, like, a huge Twitch person.
No, yeah, of course not, yeah.
And you don't have, like, a large amount of fans saying, I love you. You don't want even one person to have a parasocial relationship with you.
Guys, I'm just some schmuck that knows how to make videos in Twitch.
And I'm
play
just
video games.
Some schmuck's girlfriend.
That the schmuck forced onto a chair in front of a curtain.
Yeah.
At gunpoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
55, 45, 55, 45.
But yeah, like, we're just two people, and just like everybody, just like Andrew Yang and just like Donald Trump and just like Donald Trump's wife.
Don't get me wrong, we're bound to make mistakes, obviously, but it's about how we
everyone,
but it's how we deal with those mistakes. Human
beings don't like it when people with influence of any kind make mistakes.
Yeah,
and that's an issue that needs to be, like, everybody. I just wish everybody was more thoughtful.
Yeah. And sadly, as much as I think that Andrew Yang is making a mistake right now, I think he's going to be pushed more into being believed in his right if everyone's just like, no, you fucking idiot,
Yeah.
I think you can say, like, hey, I don't think that's the best idea.
It's just not a time to be centrist,
Yeah, that's my argument.
Yeah, I get that. The polarization is happening because of the drifting to the alt-right.
Yeah,
you have to put your foot in the ground. Being centrist isn't going to stop that from happening.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's the sadness of it.
Yeah.
I'll stop being against you when you stop being racist.
And honestly, I can't agree more to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the comedy podcast, guys.
It's a comedy podcast. You go on iTunes, it says comedy, baby. So what do you want to plug on the comedy podcast?
Well,
when's your open mic?
Fucking come on down to the Silly Tickle on Saturday. All right, I don't know. Fucking find me on Twitter at SQUINTON271. That's SQUINTON271.
SQUINT. Wait, fuck.
SQUINTON271.
Okay, thank you.
And you can find me on Instagram at SQUINTON27.
And I am Joshua Chinland on Twitter, a guy named JC on Twitch, and Joshua Chinland on YouTube. If I ever go back and Twitch stream and YouTube. And also follow the podcast on follow the podcast on YouTube and rate us 5 stars on everything and fucking follow on Spotify
and
Instagram at APWSTR. Podcast will save this on Instagram. APWSTR on TikTok.
On pretty much everything else.
Yeah. Just look up APWSTR. You'll find it. So it's all good. Maybe on Twitter at some point. Maybe on Facebook. If Facebook's not shut down.
We're gonna have a Patreon real soon.
We have a Patreon up now. You get episodes.
Now.
If there's ads in an episode, you don't have to watch those ads if you go on the Patreon. And you also get like 2 hours early.
That's true. And also, we're going to start putting exclusives on there.
Eventually.
One day.
It's only $1. And if you want to buy us coffee, there's Buy Me a Coffee. That's like $3. But you don't get anything on Patreon. That's just if you really
get shit on Patreon. You don't
get shit on Patreon if you go to Buy Me a Coffee.
That's true.
And my next open mic will be at the...
Are you also coming to the Silly Tickle?
No, I'm going to the
haha goo.
Going to the Fanny Wanny next
time. Fanny Wanny's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice. Why do we think that we're funny?
I don't know. I really don't fucking know.
I really don't know why we think that we can do this.
I don't know either. That's our show, everybody.
It's your fault.
It's your guys' fault. You encourage this.
Yeah.
It's everyone's fault but mine.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love y'all. Bye.
But not like love, just like...
Yeah, like love, like.
Love, like. Yeah, we like you guys. Bye.
Yeah. Oh my God.